Hello, everybody. Happy almost Friday. Not. It's hot. Hope everybody's doing well today. I'm sure we're going to get questions. I got stuff I want to talk about today. Everybody knows about the security deposit law. I had a very interesting conversation with several attorneys this morning, realizing that terminating tenancy in LA County has now become literally impossible. Based on a 60-day notice. And I got other things, okay? So a client rented a property in LA County, a single family home, to someone from another country with a passport and an international ID. The person from the other country turned their 6-room house. This is a single family residence, 1 bedroom, 6 rooms, into an 18-room house. How did they do that? Why did they do that? What were they doing? I don't know if you guys know.
Trafficking.
Sleeper cells. You guys need to understand that there's migrants renting properties to help facilitate other migrants on their way through. The easiest way that I could explain it, or I got to be careful what I say. It reminds me of the slave trade and how there were safe houses for slaves, and those people helped the slaves to freedom. Well, these people are helping immigrants get to freedom at your expense, and they're turning a 1-bedroom house into an 18-unit sleeper cell. The only reason the landlord found out is there was a fire. When you look at the photos, it's crazy. You open the front door and it is literally hitting a wall as the door opens. That's how wide the entryway is. And it immediately goes up a set of stairs, which goes to this loft area. And there's a refrigerator and a loft and nothing else. Oh, I know. In other countries, they're accustomed to that. We're not here. We want a toilet and a shower. And in some of these other countries, they're not used to those types of accommodations, so not having them is not a problem. So I just saw somebody log in, and I'm going to want to repeat what I'm saying just for them. And I'm waiting a couple seconds just for that person to get on and make sure they're logged on. Val, you tell me when you can hear me. Send me some kind of message or something. Val, if you're on there and you can hear me, let me know.
I got you, babe.
We're having a problem now with immigrants renting residential property and turning it into sleeper cells. I have somebody in LA that just rented a 1-bedroom house. The gentleman is from another country, applied with a passport, no ID here. He has turned a 1-bedroom house, which officially has 6 rooms in it. And I know you know what I mean, because living room, kitchen, bathroom, hall, they call it a 6-room house, okay? Because the kitchen's a room. I'm not talking about bedrooms. They took that 6-room house and turned it into an 18-room sleeper cell. Right now I can hear Val screaming all the way from Orange County as to what people are getting away with. Be careful who you rent to, folks. Remember, it's not just can they pay you, it's if they leave here owing me debt, can I collect that debt? or is it uncollectible? Remember, debt collection stops at state lines. So if you have a cosigner in another state, if their primary residence is out of the country, you guys playing along yet? You understanding? Sleeper cells. Look, Val knows. I heard it on the news. They were targeting Airbnbs and then squatting there. Now they're renting houses, paying them monthly rent so that the landlord's clueless and doing it anyway. And if anybody doesn't know what a sleeper cell is, Google it. Basically, they set up a safe house for immigrants coming through, is the best way that I could explain it. And I hope that makes sense. They did a lot of dismantling of sleeper cells after 9/11.
Patty, my question is, how do you prevent it? I mean, this is the problem. But if you were in our place, how would you screen and make sure this doesn't happen to you or me?
Well, I require a government issued photo ID. And I require someone that isn't income qualified or credit qualified to have a cosigner within the state. That's how. Make sense? I hope that clicked with you guys. And watch out for that person that's paying you 12 months in advance. It's a bad business practice. The second you find out that they turned your 6-room house into an 18-room house, the first thing you have to do is return the prepaid rent before you start serving notices to correct the problem. Ouch. That just got expensive quickly.
And Patty, fair housing is potentially 2 + 1, but per bedroom, not per room. Is that correct?
That's not fair housing. That's the industry standard.
Okay.
The law says you can have 9 people for every 690 square feet. So if you didn't put a maximum occupancy on your criteria and in your rental contract, the law applies, which is 9 people for every 690 square feet, not the industry standard. That is not the law. Make sense?
So Patty should. Oh, sorry.
Can you be sued if you put 9 people, even in the view of law is okay, but later on a fire breaks out and they come after you? Is that a good ground for suing you because you put too many people?
They could. It's called a wrongful death lawsuit. And get this, I just had an owner sued in a wrongful death lawsuit, and you wouldn't believe why. You guys ready for this? Get ready, because this one sucks. Tenant in possession of a property in an apartment building calls 911 because they're having a heart attack. Okay? Having a heart attack. Tenant calls 911. They're having a heart attack. 911 can't find them because the units aren't clearly marked. Whose fault is that? Yeah, that one's gonna sting. Owners don't like it when I tell them, hey, contact your insurance company. See if they'll help you. I don't mean to sound that way, but that's how it happens sometimes. It really does. All right, I know I'm gonna get more questions. I have more things I want to talk to you about. But last week we talked about livable. Last week we talked about livable. I see what you said, Val.
I sent you that email, Patty.
I saw, and that's what I was gonna tell everybody is they have a code that'll save you some money through AGLA. And Arlene said, if you're gonna sign up to do livable, use that AGLA free. And they'll give you 3 months for free, I believe Arlene told me. So great.
I think it's AGLA free 3, I think was the code.
AGLA, I can speak, I promise. AGLA free, and then the number 3 is the code, and that'll give you 3 months of free service from Livable. And Arlene is a walking, talking billboard for them because she's been nothing but happy. They have actually gone above and beyond and helped her include things she didn't know she could be billing the tenant for. So she's a happy camper with Livable. They've offset her expenses and made her life much easier. So if you're trying to break down utility billing for tenants, that is the easiest way to go. Oh, look, we got more people jumping on the bandwagon. I got them. I use them. They're great.
Can you repeat the code?
The code is AGLA, AAGLA, free, FREE, and then the number 3. Okay?
Thank you.
No problem. Val says, do much tighter screening. Somebody needs to have a credit report. Get a guarantor. Tough when we can now only charge 1 month's rent as a deposit. Get your cleaning fees, your pet fees, etc. up front. We have house rules limiting strange occupants for over X days. Always use a month to month, not a year lease. That's my 2 cents. Good job, Val. I think you've been listening to somebody on the internet, but I don't know who that is.
Patty, sorry.
What's
Hey,
up?
Patty,
Yeah.
the code, I just checked the code. The code is AGLA, the number 3, and then free.
Oh, there you go. So it's AGLA 3 free.
Correct.
Either way, it's a tongue twister. And then I heard one of our gentlemen had a question. And I'm trying to look to see who's in here. Bear with me. Somebody had a question and it was David Yearman. Do you still have a question, David? I heard your voice is how I knew.
No, thank you, Patty. You answered everything. Thank you.
Hey, I didn't even know you had a question. I just knew I heard your voice in there. All right. So
Patty, I have a question.
Okay.
August, can we do the increase for the SEP fees this August?
Absolutely. Yep.
So I need to do it by July 1. The notice. Change of tenancy, RSO, correct?
Yep.
And do you know, do you have any idea if they're 384 or do you know what they are? Does anybody know?
No, I don't know what they are. I'd have to look.
Okay. All right, I'll try to look it up. Okay, thanks.
And Melanie's putting, sorry, I missed the skip RSO fees. That's okay. That's what we're talking about now, girl.
Patty, can
So-
I have a question?
Yeah.
I spoke to you yesterday regarding about my situation with the camera. And the one I have situation is the 10 and 5, one of the 10 and fire a restraining order, but they haven't go to court yet until July.
4th.
Yeah.
July 4th, I remember.
Right, but the thing is, before I know that he put a camera in the back of the window, which just happened to be my unit is like in a square. So when he put the back room with the camera, it's facing other unit entrance door. So they all
Right.
calling me and say, "Oh, I'm very uncomfortable. Look like I've been watched." So I talked to him this morning, asking him to remove it. And he said to me that the police asked him to put a camera.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't.
Police
No,
don't,
they didn't.
police don't advise you to put camera?
No, show me where that you have that in writing because you still didn't get permission from the owner.
Okay. Yeah, because he said,
Can
and then
I
after
say
that,
something? Can I say something to you?
yes.
What I just heard you say is LLPOS.
Uh-huh, what does that mean?
Liar, liar, pants
Fire
on fire.
pants on fire.
Uh, yeah, so I
Cops
kind of,
will
as a landlord, I'm
the
scared
cops will
because
never
if,
tell you to install a camera. Cops will tell you to start an eviction. They won't tell you to install a camera.
oh, so he lying. But then, you know,
That-
I talked to another, person who used to be a cop. He said, if they put a camera in the what do you, common area,
Mhm.
then they can. Because they worry about the other person come attack them. So that's
I
their
don't care.
don't
Here's
care.
the
Okay.
rules, okay? Tenants should not have cameras of their own. Landlords should have cameras up on the community. If a tenant has a camera, it's a modification to the property without written consent of the landlord. It's also violating other neighboring residents' right to quiet enjoyment because they don't feel safe because they feel like he's now stalking them.
Exactly.
Tell him to take the camera down, that it's affecting other people's right to quiet enjoyment and it is not allowed. Period.
Okay.
In court. If he has a problem with that, he can live somewhere else.
That's right. Okay, now I feel better. I was so worried about my liability. He kept threatening me that if something happened to him, then you know, I have to respond to that. He keeps
No,
saying that.
you don't. No,
All
you
right.
don't.
Got it.
You know, listen to how ridiculous that sounds, okay? If I get in a car accident on my way to the grocery store, I'm going to sue you.
Because he said he finds restraining order.
A restraining order against who?
Yeah, only one person, but now it affects everybody.
Yeah,
All right,
he's
got it.
got mental problems. Don't play along.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
No
much.
problem.
All right.
No problem. So we
Hi.
talked about, oh, go,
Hi.
I hear somebody else piping in.
Hi,
What you got?
Patty. Yes,
Hello.
I have a question. I emailed you. I'm a new member and I'm looking forward to all your expertise and your information, all your years of experience. Thank you. But I did send you an email. Haven't gotten a response back. I know you're extremely busy. It's regarding a tenant that he's supposed to pay for the utility trash bill or the trash utility bill. And from the beginning, he refused to put it in his name. And so I went ahead, being nice. I know it was my error. I went ahead and said, no, okay, you can pay it, pay me, and then I'll just pay the company. But now it kept, the bill, they keep increasing. So now he's questioning it. And it's been me having problems. So I want him
What
to just
city
put
is
it
it
under
in?
his name. It's in the city of Downey. It was
Okay,
Section
so
8. He's a Section 8 tenant, and that's the thing
okay,
that yeah.
it's not a problem. So give him a 30-day cure or quit.
Okay. Should I
Not up to
I
you.
never given him a written notice? Should I just send him a notice asking him to do it, and then if he doesn't do it, give him a cure or quit notice? Should I do that?
No,
Would it be better so I
no,
can track the
no,
paperwork?
no. The reason is harassment in LA County is real. And if your courtesy warning letter sounds like a threat, you're in trouble. Don't try too hard to be nice. Just do your job. So serve the notice. It's going to be a 30-day curable breach of covenant. It's a 30-day because they're on Section 8 and this is involving money.
Okay,
Okay.
30-day notice of what, I'm sorry?
Cure or quit. Curable
Cure
breach of covenant. Same
or
thing.
quit.
And
Okay.
it's to put the trash bill in his name as per his written rental contract. If
Put
you
trash
need
bill
help,
under your name. Well,
as
the contract says that he has to pay the bill, not, well, of course, put it under his name and bill. So should I put it under your name and pay for it, or just put the bill under your name and be responsible for it?
if it were me, I would hire my law firm to do this for me and just have them do a cure or quit for the trash bill and see if he puts it in his name in 30 days. If he doesn't, I'd be talking to them about starting an eviction for it.
Okay,
Okay?
okay. So do this with an attorney?
Whenever you're playing around in LA County, I want you to be messing with and talking to your legal counsel. Who's your attorney?
I usually use, what's his name? Oh, can't even think of his name. He's with Dogla too, and
Dennis Block,
Dennis
Michael
Block, Dennis
Brennan.
Block.
Okay, no problem. Just contact Dennis Block's office and ask them to prepare and serve the notice for you. That way you know it's correct.
Okay,
Okay?
will do. Okay, wonderful. Also, another question. I have another tenant under another Section 8 too that this is not under her name, the build of the trash, but I want her to start doing it. So do I send a notice to Section 8 changing the tenancy, change of tenancy, if I wanna, giving her how many, 60 days, or can I even do that now?
What city?
It's in the same Downey.
I'd have to look at the rules in that city to see if you're allowed to do that and change and add additional expenses to the tenant after inception. So it's
Yep.
questionable, okay?
Yeah, okay, all right.
I
Thank
can't
you.
answer, I can answer a lot of stuff right off the top of my head. That I have to look up.
Okay, wonderful, thank you,
No problem.
appreciate
All
it.
right, Val's got a big long question. We may have chosen a new problem tenant. Hey, from one problem to the next, right? The couple has an adult autistic son. It was my fault for allowing them to make payments on their deposit. I won't say a word. They still owe $800. Two issues. The son supposedly jumped from the bed into the wall and put a huge hole in the wall. Second, the wife is afraid of all men. She will not allow my guy to go inside to check the damage without her husband present. He's rarely home, and when home, he sleeps during the day due to his night work. Now we are trying to do some work which would require us to turn off the water and electric until we fix a small issue. My worker is going on a long vacation soon, so if we don't do this work, it will be another 6 weeks. I am not going to fix the hole in the wall until they pay for it, but I do want to fix the other things. Guess I picked the freaky family. Hey, sometimes it's more difficult. Let me tell you about the freaky family I picked, okay? Because I picked one too. And let's face it, we're all a freaky family. Each and every one of us is a little bit weird, okay? We are in our own way. So I picked one who was a longshoreman, an offshoreman. So he worked on the oil rigs offshore. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Well, he only came home for 4 days every 6 weeks. And that's kind of weird, right? They had plenty of money. That wasn't the problem. But yeah, I don't even know if I should repeat their story, but we've all had freaky families. Yeah. As far as the damage into the wall, you want to go see how bad that is. And what did they do? Tell you that our artistic son jumped off the bed into the wall? Because how often does he do that? Oh. I know you have a little property manager gal. She's not a man. Is she able to go look and take a photo of the damage? Just trying to be helpful. I'm considering telling you, yeah, that's going to be an ongoing issue, no doubt. And it's going to be real tricky because they're going to cry disabled, disability. Reasonable accommodations because of a disability. Watch yourself. All right, does anybody else have anything? And I got something weird happening right now, so just bear with me, okay?
I have a quick question.
Sure.
The same tenant that has a problem with the utility bill, he went ahead and tied out a grill with, a chain, metal chain to the, it has bars, the property has, the bars outside the window. So he went ahead and wrapped around that big chain and, to secure his grill. He has a garage. I told him to go ahead and put it in the garage because that's not not safe. That's a safety issue. Well, I verbally told him like 2 times, but he hasn't done it. And
Is he
I
on
don't
a
know,
month-to-month contract?
this is through Section 8. So you know how they come and they do 1 year contract at the beginning and then they come and do an inspection, and again it renews, but I don't know if it turns into month to month or it will be a yearly contract after that.
It's only a yearly contract if you sign a new one. So
Oh,
they
no, I
should
didn't
be on
sign it.
they should be on a month-to-month after that. So you can give them a 30-day notice of change of terms of tenancy, not allowing any charcoal or propane grills on the property at all.
So that would be a 30-day notice also to quit or cure or
Pure,
quit or
no, that's a 30-day change of terms,
change of terms. Okay.
changing the rules. And it's to allow no barbecues, outdoor grills, or external cooking devices on the property. Why is
Outdoor-
Patty saying not to allow it? Because if they put that barbecue right where it's at and he has a fire on the barbecue because he put too much barbecue sauce or whatever, he opens that lid, it's gonna burn your eaves.
Yes, so no
That
barbecue.
hold on. If he puts that hot barbecue away in the garage and sets it too close to his Christmas decorations
Yeah,
and they catch on fire, right? So how do we combat the problem? No barbecues, no charcoal grills.
no charcoal grills.
Patty, you said no barbecue, no outdoor grill, no external cooking device?
Exterior cooking device. You
Uh,
don't want to fry a turkey in a deep fryer either.
No, okay, so no exterior cooking device, no charcoal or propane. What?
Grills and barbecues
Grills or barbecue, okay.
may be kept on or around the property. And when they ask you why, tell them it's an insurance request from the owner's insurance company
May be kept on or
in the property.
may be kept on or in the property?
Correct.
Okay,
Would you be able to repeat that just so we can all make sure? And I'm sorry.
What we're talking about right now is a non-grilling addendum. CAA has one, AGLA has one, a lot of people have one, but it's a non-grilling addendum, just so you know.
And Patty, this would be for apartments as well as single family properties? Okay.
It's for whatever you don't want to allow barbecues at.
Okay, got it.
So I don't allow it at my multifamily dwellings, even a duplex, I don't allow a barbecue. But because I think it's BS to depend on somebody else not to burn you up in the middle of the night.
Now, if you didn't put that in the beginning of the lease, can you give them a notice to let them know that?
Absolutely. That's what you're doing. 30-day notice to change terms of tenancy. You're changing the rules.
Can you do that on RSO or no?
I'd have to ask the attorney, possibly, more than likely, yes, especially if it's a health and safety issue.
Mhm. Can you let us know next week?
Yeah.
Thanks.
No problem. I got a feeling the answer is yes. You can do it.
I have a question.
Sure.
Can we put into chain of tenancy regarding about tenant conflict? Can we put in the new term that if they get into conflict involved with police or something like that, can we assert the eviction, terminate the contract? You smile.
Well, I'm going to ask you something. I got in an argument with my boyfriend and we got in a fight and the cops showed up to my property to ask me if I was okay. Now you're gonna evict me because the cops were at my property? That's
No,
not
I'm
right.
saying among the tenants, like my
No, no, no,
tenant.
no, no. I'm pretending I'm the tenant. I got
Okay.
in a fight with my boyfriend and the cops showed up at my house to make sure I was okay. Now you're gonna evict me because the cops came to see if I was okay?
No.
Right. So no, you cannot do that. It's discrimination.
Okay. Um, so, another one is regarding about limitation on party, because I got a complaint about other tenant that one of the tenant have party every other week in the garage. Not the garage, but the porch that, causing other tenant, like moving and out. So
You're
what
gonna
can,
serve that it's affecting neighboring residents' right to quiet enjoyment. You're not allowing parties or get-togethers at the property.
okay, I could do strictly even a little celebration, I can cut out completely.
Cut
Because
it out
sometimes
completely. It doesn't matter if two people want to come over and sing happy birthday and light cupcakes. If you have 40 kids there, that's a problem.
okay,
That's why they have playhouses in McDonald's so they can have birthday parties somewhere other than their apartment.
yeah, this is not an apartment, this is like a little, community, but it does affect other people if they keep having a party.
Exactly. That's why McDonald's does birthday parties. So when they argue with you and say, where am I supposed to have a birthday party? You can go to the beach. You can go to a park. You can go to many restaurants and venues. Even McDonald's has a birthday party area.
Okay, so we put it in the chain of tenancy, and then I say, like house rule.
Yeah, no parties, no gatherings.
Okay, got it. Oh, God. Thank you so
Um,
much.
No problem. Sir, you're asking me if that includes an electronic George Foreman? If you're using it outside of your house, yes. Outside of your house. Where can I get a live-in caregiver agreement? Allie, you don't want one. And I know the questions are coming. So get ready to unmute yourself. You don't want a live-in caregiver agreement. Okay? Look at it this way, and I'm going to talk out loud so nobody get mad at me if I'm offensive. Let's say that there's a 99-year-old man living in your apartment community and he needs a living caregiver. Okay? You're not going to talk to the caregiver because they're an employee of your tenant, not of you. No different than the paper delivery person. Remember when that used to be a thing? We used to ride our bikes and throw the newspapers. You guys remember that? Okay. The tenant can hire the newspaper company to deliver the paper to their door every day. Does that affect you in any way? No. Do you talk to the newspaper delivery person? No. You don't discuss the tenancy with them. You don't do nothing with them because they're not your tenant. And you're sure not going to take the rent from the paper boy. So don't take it from the caregiver either. In the event the tenant dies, you're going to then give the caregiver a notice to get out. 3 days. You got 3 days to get out. You're not supposed to be here. In the event there's family involved, the family can then fire the caregiver, and I'm giving them a 3-day quit to get out. They've been fired. Their employment is, they got to go. So keeping that separated helps you. Once you combine it, it hurts you. Got it?
Right, right. No, I understand. It wasn't for a tenant or the building. My sister has this idea of getting a caregiver for a relative, but she wants a live-in person, and I'm just like, no. Have the person just come when needed and be done with it, but moving them in there is going to be problematic in so many ways. And this lady, this caregiver has a boyfriend. So what's she going to do? Leave her boyfriend in her apartment? Is she going to come live with the old person? No, I don't think so.
But you already know the answers to that.
Yeah.
So I had somebody taking care of my mom for me when she was sick and dying and I was working.
Yeah.
she asked me, can I stay here on the days? Because I gave her weekends off because I was home on the weekends.
Right.
Makes sense?
Yeah.
So she said, can I just stay here in your mom's room during the week and then go home on the weekends? And I looked at her and went, I'm okay with that. As long as you're not moving stuff in here,
Mhm.
your clothes is fine, but don't bring anything else.
Uh-huh.
And I actually let her stay in my mom's bed because my mom wasn't using it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but I understand your concern and you need to be that concerned. So good call on your part with forward thinking. Okay.
Yeah.
You
Thank
don't want you don't want a caregiver agreement. It's easier just to fire them and then serve them a 3-day quit,
Right. Right. Okay. Thank you as always.
especially because it's under employment law and not landlord tenant,
That's right. I thought of that as well.
just
Oh.
like an on-site manager.
Another question. I saw what Agla sent about the pets. So it looks like here in the near future, we're going to have to accept pets.
Yep.
As you always said, just accept them, knowing up front what the deal is, and you won't be too disturbed about the situation. So
Allie,
that means that when we
Wait. First and foremost, thank you for remembering that I told you several years ago, just be ready. There's going to be a time when we're forced, just be ready. So thank
Yeah.
you for being with me long enough to call me out on that and say, hey, Patty, remember when you said? Yeah, I remember.
So
Sorry.
basically, we're just gonna have to accept them, and it doesn't matter. Like, we won't need documentation if it's a service dog or an emotional support. It's just all the same now.
And you're not going to be able to ask for a higher security deposit. We can't charge pet rent. And there's a new law that just passed saying that all new construction starting January 1st of 2025 must allow pets. They
Oh,
also
God.
said starting January 1st, 2025, we can no longer unbundle parking.
Right. That's why if we have that situation, we need to do it now. Unbundle now.
Unbundle now because you can't unbundle in 2025.
Yep.
Excuse me, Patty, the
Yes.
rule about the pets. So
Uh-huh.
we cannot say no pets allowed anymore, starting when?
It's coming to that. We're not
Okay.
there yet, but it's
Okay.
coming.
What
So
about
just
go
allow
ahead.
the pet. Allow the pet. Allow the pet. That's what I'm going to tell you. Allow the pet.
But what
It's
about
the
if they're
people
not trained and they mess up the house, they mess up the carpet? What do we?
they're still responsible to pay for all of that. It's no different than having their kids scribble on the wall. They still have to pay for the damage.
Okay.
Patty, what about breed restrictions? Because my insurance broker says we can't have, certain breeds, but then I also don't want to get in trouble if they say, oh, it's a service dog or whatever. So how do we do that? Because there's not, with the insurance, it's kind of limited nowadays.
There's 17 dogs on the aggressive breed list that insurance companies won't cover if they're on your property. Oh, that's when they go get the ESA letter saying that pit bull is an emotional support animal. You need that doctor's letter to give to your insurance company because they can't discriminate against a disability either.
Oh, my insurance guy said they'll just drop you, is what he said.
They can't. They have to tell you why they're dropping you. And if it's because you have an aggressive breed dog on the property, you're then going to hand them the request for reasonable accommodations based on the disability that the tenant gave you, because they can't discriminate either.
Oh,
Patty?
good to know. Thank you.
Patty?
No problem. Yes.
If I may, I have a colleague who has a management company in Santa Monica, and she had a situation with a dog. I think it was a pit bull, and she told the tenant that she had to get rid of the pit bull because her insurance didn't allow that breed, and the tenant said it was a service animal, and they went to court, and she had to end up paying $80,000.
Why didn't she give a request for reasonable accommodations to the insurance company?
I don't know. I mean, this was a couple years ago, so
I
maybe
got
she,
you.
maybe she did, maybe she didn't know. But, but, you know how realtors don't, just because you're part of the National Association of Realtors, you don't know everything. And I think that
Oh.
was part of the problem, that she wasn't educated enough on the situation, where she just stood her ground, and
Got you.
it came back to bite her.
I've seen opposing counsel force a landlord to change insurance carriers.
Oh, yeah.
What? Yeah, I've seen it all. You just got to know where your teeth are. Let me see. I'm looking through notes. I just typed along one above. If you can't refine, or just remind me about serving a 24-hour notices when the tenant doesn't cooperate. If the tenant doesn't cooperate and allow entry, you want to serve 3 consecutive, and they don't have to be day after day, but don't do one a month, okay? Get them in the same month. 3 attempts to enter Monday through Friday from 8 to 6 p.m. If they still won't let you in, do a cure or quit, and then try to enter again. If they still don't let you in, you can start eviction. Can't she also demand renter's insurance? Yes, she can demand renter's insurance on a 30-day change of terms. All right, does anybody else have anything else?
Yeah, it's Patty.
Oh, go,
so-
it's okay, one at a time.
Okay, real quick for the security deposit, 1 month's rent, July 1st, but even if they have 2 pets, it's still just 1 month's rent, correct?
Bingo.
Okay, got it. And then for the land,
Let me ask you a question. If they're already in there and they have 2 months rent deposit on July 1st, do you have to give a month back?
no.
Good job. Okay,
Oh,
what was your
okay.
other question?
Just for new tenants and the landlord credit reports. So you last week said it's no longer they no longer show evictions. Is that what I'm
They haven't
understanding correctly?
shown eviction since 2017.
Oh, okay. So then what can we get from the credit report that would be valuable? Just the score now? Or so it won't show landlord debt or judgment or anything?
Or evictions.
Then what's the point?
Yeah, that's
Gonna
what I was
tell
thinking.
you-
What's the
It's gonna
point?
tell you if they pay their electric bill, their gas bill, their cable bill, their credit card bills.
I have a
Make
quick
sense?
question if
Go ahead.
Yes, that same tenant, he didn't pay for the utility trash bill that was due. He didn't pay me in June. How can I send him a note saying a reminder? He said he wasn't aware that it was due and he didn't pay for it and he hasn't contacted me. Can I just send him? I
A
don't have,
30-day cure or quit to pay you the money, and a 30-day cure or quit to put the bill in his name, both at the same time.
okay, so there's 2 different notices and I need to do that with an attorney, or can I give him the one that he owed me by myself, or can I just use the attorney to do both notices?
I would use the attorney to put both violations on the same notice.
Okay, what can I put a 3rd violation? Because he's the same guy that has the grill outside with the chain on the window.
You don't have a rule about the grill outside yet, but as soon as you make that a rule, then you can tell him to remove it.
Okay, and the rule, I'm just sending him the notice, or I'm gonna do a notice, or is there a note? Am I gonna use a notice from Agla to send
Well,
him?
you could, there's a grilling addendum in their addendum packet. So look at that and see if that works for you.
Okay. And
Okay?
then just give him that. Does he have to sign it? Because I gave him addendums regarding
Not
the
if
mold.
not if you're giving him a change of terms and that's the term you're changing. They don't have to sign it.
Okay,
Okay?
wonderful. Thank you. So a
No
30-day
problem.
notice to change the tenancy. Okay, thank you.
And then it looks like Julia has a question regarding a single family residence in San Bernardino. If new tenants move in with 2 pets after July 1st, I can't charge an increased deposit because it's max 1 month's deposit, correct?
You already answered it. Patty.
Okay, absolutely correct. I answered them both. All right.
But what's the, and I just messaged you right now, but I'll just ask it. What's the point then of putting no evictions, judgments, landlord debt on your rental criteria if you can't verify that? on the credit report.
Bing. I'm glad your light bulb came on, because let me say this to you, okay? The evictions that you can see on tenants' credit reports mean that the landlord won within the first 60 days of filing the case. Meaning the landlord filed the case, the tenant was served, and at some point between the tenant being served, they vacated, they left, okay? Because the owner got a judgment in their favor within 60 days of filing the case. You mean if they ask for a trial, it's going to go over 60 days and it's not going to show? That's correct. So wait a minute, the tenant that left in the middle of the night, they have an eviction on their credit? Isn't that who you want to rent to? Because it's sure in the hell who I want to rent to. I want the tenant that's scared of me and is going to take off running when I come pounding. Okay? I want that tenant. So why are we advertising no evictions? Make sense? I said, and people call me out there on this. I said over a year ago, maybe over 2 years ago, we should start advertising evictions welcome. Inquire within. And then if they go, yeah, I have an eviction, and you can't see it on the credit report, you don't want that tenant because they asked for a trial by jury. They rake that landlord over the coals. Makes sense?
So put on the rental criteria, just because like that would be so, we are I'm accepting evictions.
See, we've been trained for 30 years to do it a different way, and you're having a hard time even saying that to me right now.
Correct.
But think about what I'm saying to you. You can't see the eviction. And if you can, it means that the landlord won within the first 60 days of filing the case. I want that tenant. I don't want the one that asked for a jury trial and I can't see that they've been evicted. Just think about it.
Got it. Okay. Thank you,
It
Patty.
made my brain start working in a different level, let me tell you. Because I'm like, why are we advertising no evictions? We should be doing the exact opposite. I'm going to laugh my butt off if in 10 years from now, everybody's advertising evictions welcome. Go figure. All right, I see more stuff on here. Just bear with me. I'm trying to get to it. I Googled that person and found an eviction judgment. Look at you, Arlene. I use smartmove.com. It still shows evictions unless just removed. I think it's about 45 bucks we require the tenant to pay. Then at what point is the landlord saying no evictions judgment? Yep. I'm just glad you guys are paying attention to what I'm telling you. And from what I see in legislation and what's coming at us, it's going to become more challenging, even more challenging.
And what about criminal records, like
What about them?
felons? So allow them?
Felons are a protected class in the state of California. And just because somebody committed a crime doesn't mean you can discriminate against them. So what my credit report says is no felony convictions for great bodily harm or manufacturing illegal substance. What did I just tell them? I don't want somebody that beats other people up or causes them harm, whether it's domestic violence or a neighbor dispute. I don't want that. And I also don't want manufacturing an illegal substance, meaning drugs. And what I need to do is find out one for human trafficking so I can get that in there. Got it? Does that make sense?
Patty,
We
but
can't say no felons, but we can say no felony convictions for manufacturing illegal substances or crimes with great bodily injury.
and that's not, I mean, they're not a protected class for that.
You can't blanket statement it, but you can define the crime.
Got it. Okay.
In other words, you can't say, and I'm going to do this, I don't rent to property managers. It's discrimination, right? But I can pick and choose the property manager I want to rent to, right? Same concept.
Patty, when you have a moment, could you talk a little bit about the pros and, well, actually the pros of going month to month from the beginning as opposed to the 1-year lease?
I don't rent to lawyers. Sorry, just happened to see that. There's 4 people I refuse to rent to. Lawyers, property managers, don't get me going, okay? It's bad. But if they're income qualified, I have to. I can't discriminate. Okay, and you want me to talk about what? Remind me? The pros and cons of,
Going month to month from the get-go as opposed to the 1-year lease?
yep. If these tenants move in and all of a sudden they start doing something and you're like, oh, hell no, I'm not having that at my property. And you pull out your lease contract and you go, shit, I don't have a rule for that. If they're on a month to month, you can do a 30-day notice of change of terms of tenancy and change the rules in 30 days. If they're in a term, you can't. If they're in a term, you can't raise the rent. You can't change the rules. You can't do anything. You have to wait till the term's over and then you can do all those things. On a month to month, it's just a 30-day. If you're subject to AB 1482 and you sign a 1-year lease at Hello, and the tenants, you're signing up to pay them relocation fees, because if you ever want to terminate tenancy, you have to pay relocation fees. If they're on a month to month and they've lived there 11 months and then you want them out, you don't have to pay relocation fees. That doesn't kick in until the tenant's been in possession for 12 months. Okay. An attorney told me years ago, and this clicked and stuck with me. A term helps the tenant, a month to month helps the landlord. A term helps the tenant because for that term, you can't touch them unless they're in violation of the contract. And if you miss something, that's on you. Okay, so a month to month gives you a better playing field. It gives you better grounds to play by the rules because you can change the rules. And in a term, you can't. You're stuck. Does that make sense? Because it is that simple.
Yes, it makes sense. And
It is
what
that simple.
How about where it says like the only in our 1-year lease we ask that if they move out prior to the year, you know, the whole deposit return or whatever, but I guess they still have to give you a 30-day notice. And even if they move out, if you don't re-rent that property within the 30 days, then you can keep the security deposit or the rent of the security deposit, right?
It depends on what the lease says. If you have a lease break fee clause in there, then it's the lease break fee. If you don't, then you're allocating damages and charging them holdover per diem per day until it's re-rented. Verify must do 1-year lease, Larso. I don't know what WeHo is. Larso requires a 1-year lease at Hello. So does City of Santa Monica.
West Hollywood.
Say it again, Arlene.
West Hollywood.
Ah, the Wicked Witch of the West. WeHo. I'm going to start using that. WeHo for West Hollywood. I
And
use the Wicked Witch of the West.
North Hollywood is NoHo.
NoHo, NoHo, and WeHo. Is there a UHO? Sorry. Sometimes you can't take me anywhere. NoHo. I'm going to remember that. NoHo, WeHo. I'm going to remember all of it. That's funny. Oh, and people keep asking me. I believe it, but it sounds horrible. It sounds like ho. WeHo. I'm not a hoe. Sorry. I went down a rabbit hole and got lost. Hang on. Some municipalities require that your tenant be in a 1-year contract. Larso, West Hollywood, Santa Monica, Sherman Oaks. There's a lot of anything that's governed by the city of Los Angeles. remember that tool I gave you, which is a tenant advocate group that shows you what the rules are for your address on stayhousedla.org? Utilize that. Between that and Zemus, you should be able to figure out exactly what governs any property address in the county of Los Angeles. Those are the two tools you need. stayhousedla.org and Zemus should be able to do all the talking for you.
Never
And
heard
I'm
of Venus.
Zemus helps tremendously, ZIMAS. And then you can search by address, and then you're looking for rent control. And whatever it says, click on that. It'll pull up governed by Larso or governed by whoever. Is Larso City of LA or the county? Well, Lorraine, that's a tricky question. And I've been asking myself the same damn thing since they implemented the DCBA even, okay? LARSO stands for Los Angeles Rent Stabilization Organization. For decades, it's only been in LA City, but during COVID, it spread like cancer. And LARSO now governs all the unincorporated cities within the county. And people are going to go, no, Patty, that's not LARSO, that's DCBA. Have you looked at their address? Do you know they're in the same freaking building? LARSO and DCBA are in the same building. They are marching to the same drum. And remember I said in the beginning of this, when we all had to apply for the rent registry and they're going to let you register your property for free for the first year, it's their way to get their hook into you. Because now that we're all hooked and we're logged into this system, they're changing the rules. Watch yourself. We're going to have a maximum rent increase in unincorporated LA County that's set like 4.275%. You watch. It's coming. It's a matter of when, not if. Okay? The whole county is trying to turn into the city of LA with all the restrictions and the bureaucracy and bullshit. Why? Because the mayor, Karen Bass, yes, her name is Karen, wants to keep people in properties and not increase the homeless population. Oh, by the way, the mayor of the county of Los Angeles is a tenant, not a homeowner. And now everything makes sense. All right, does anybody have anything else? I got to get back in there. They're going to kill me. I've spent too much time on my lunch break. All right, you guys, I will see you next week. If there's anything else I can do for you, please give me a call, let me know, and we'll be in contact soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye, Patty. Thank you.
Bye,
Thank you,
guys.
Patty.
We'll talk soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, thank you.
Bye.